Act like nothing's happened.
Hello and welcome to, alright, we are quarter of an hour late. I don't know, blame the internet. Hello and welcome to the PM Flory Models Telford Extravaganza weekend. I might have said all of this and went about 10 minutes in before we realised we are not on. But hopefully we are all there. So if everybody in the chat rooms can go, yes, you're one, hurrah, thank God, have a drink. Good evening, everyone. Sorry about that, but it is Flory Models and you know what we're like. Anyway, yes, we're all good. Thank you, everybody in YouTube chat. Lovely job, as always. Andy, you're going to have to monitor the other one because I haven't got it on. I've had to turn it off because I needed it. So, yes. Sorry about that, people. Unfortunately, due to a technical gremlin, as in I set up all the streams for the weekend so they'll be seamlessly one after the other. For some reason, you can't start the stream. So we were like, it's not going. So anyway, never mind. We're there now. We're all good and we're away. So unfortunately, due to COVID, obviously, no Telford this year. Boo. On the upside, though, we're not freezing our proverbial bits off, trying to set up the stand, trying not to hit people's displays and actually trying to reverse the lorry in. Although I must say, Matt did do a very good job last year.
Thank you.
Didn't you?
I was guided.
I was waiting for it to happen. That's why I was videoing, but unfortunately it didn't.
Thanks.
So I get 200 quid for that footage. Anyway, so yes, obviously no Telford this year, unfortunately. But the plan is, as you can probably see next to me, we've got plans of grandeur for you to keep you entertained and obviously us a little bit more on the go as well. So basically, we've got tonight is going to be a little bit of a sort of chat about Telford's past and things like that. Again, it would have been the 10th anniversary of Flory Models having a stand at Telford. So that was going to be quite a milestone for us, but unfortunately that hasn't happened. So we've got that. We're going to be taking you through all the deals and specials that are going on at the moment. I'm going to take you through the list of all the demos and various things and what times they're going to roughly be. Again, as you've just seen, things can slip a little bit with the timing. But we'll go through that in a moment. And then obviously everything's going to be going on. And then a little bit later in the show, we're going to be talking about obviously the group builds and the SIGs and all the bits and pieces. And hopefully we'll have a few laughs and giggles along the way. Anyway, it's going to kick off literally in the morning at 9 o'clock with me doing a wash and weathering demo between 9 and 10. Okay, between 10 and 11, Andy's going to be doing one all about silver paints. Aren't you, Andy? Andy's there.
I am, certainly am.
He is. And he's going to be doing that one. And then obviously we've got various other things going to be going on and, you know, lots of fun and giggles and all the rest of it in the morning. That's going to take us up to midday. At midday, we're going to have a break because John will need a pee. If you know John well, I'm amazed he can make it more than half an hour, but he will need a pee break. Okay, so anyway, we'll be back with you in the afternoon at 2 p.m. So between 2 and 3, Andy's going to do a demo on chipping his toenail. And then I'm going to do one between 3 and 4 about buffables. So we're going to be buffing paints and showing how buffable works and stuff like that. And then between 4 and 5, Matt's going to do one on burnishing. The art of acid etch. Okay, so that's the plan with that one. Saturday night, if you want to join us at 7:30, it's going to be totally informal, just drinks and giggles and all the rest of it. And our very own Nathan is doing us a quiz. So it's going to be good. So it's bound to be a bit of a laugh with that one too. If you want to join us for that, it'd be absolutely fantastic. Okay, and then on Sunday, between 9 and 10 in the morning, I'm going to do a bit on about sanding and polishing. Be doing a demo on that one. And then between 10 and 12, Matt's going to do one on oil paints. Figure painting, is it, Matt? For down on there. And then in the afternoon, I'm going to do something about pigments, showing about demoing on pigments and various things like that to make our way through. There is going to be other things being chucked amongst it. If you guys have got any ideas and things you want to see as well, as long as we've got the stuff just in front of us, we can show you and demo you things on those as well to make our way through. Okay, so that's our plan really for the weekend. And the thing is, I intend to show off some of the models that I've been doing this year, which normally we would take to Telford, hence this little lump, which would have had lots of aircraft behind it round about now. But unfortunately, because obviously they've never met, it hasn't broken its virginity yet, with you lot round there wanting to poke it from behind. That's quite enough of that. There we go. Look, there's the Jag ready for
This one.
approving.
Where's Andy?
The lightning's up there.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we got a Lightning and a Harry, and that was the plan. We were going to have a little formation, and it was going to be the showstopper, really, for the thing, but that's not going to happen, obviously. So hopefully we'll get them together at some point. Anyway, as you can see, that is basically our format layout for the weekend and where we're going to be. So if you want to see the times and the various things up there on there, you can do. Right now, it's the shameless plug time. Okay, so we've got 2 sales going on at the moment. We've got the Flory Models one going on. So we've got sales. So the giant pack of sanders is normally £44. I'm doing it for 34. It's 10 quid off the full set of sanders. The mini set, yeah, the starter set, to be honest, there's not enough in that to do a discount. So that's down in there as well. Okay, and then all the individual sander packs are all a £5. Okay, so they're all sort of 50p off. Okay, and then down in here, full set of washes. Normally that's 41.32. We're doing it for 32 quid, so that's a bargain. And all bottles of washes are just a £5, so they're all £1 off. Speaking of £1 off, all the pigments are £1 off as well per pot, unless you go for the giant one. Instead of being 35 quid, it's 28 quid for a set of things. These are limited. Once they go, that is it. So if they sell out by tomorrow, that is it. Okay, because that is it for the sale prices on those ones. They will be up obviously next week when we get restocks in, but that is all we're doing really for this one, as you can see down in there. And then over on this one, which one of you rogues wants to talk us through it?
Andy's done it all, so he can obviously
Go on, Andy, talk us through it.
Okay, right. In the specials offer section, which Phil will click onto.
Special offers, yes.
Yeah, we've got special offers in here. These are already pre-priced and discounted. Prices are up to 20% off. So not your boots out on them. Some of them have got slightly damaged boxes, but they are very, very slightly damaged.
Yeah.
Not bad at all, but we have to put it because they are slightly damaged. And then on the other sections, we've got 10% discount on everything apart from Fujimi, Hobby Boss,
Meng, Mini Art and Trumpeter, which is 12%.
Yeah, and then we've also got 15% off New.
New models is 15% off on everything. And like Phil's just said, once it's gone, it's gone.
Yes. So once they've sold out, that is it, guys. So as I said, if you were thinking about it, grab it before, you know, they go. Because once it's gone, it is literally gone. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is the thing. So as I said, basically, it's 10% off of everything, off of all the kits. But as I said, it's a further 12% off the Fujimi, Hobby Boss, Meng, Mini Art, Ryfield Models, and Trumpeter. Okay.
Well, not a further 12%. But,
No. It's just, and then 12% on those, and then 15% on New for that one. Okay.
Yeah.
And again, you've got all the various links, and the links and everything are down below, although they might not be now because I've had to copy and paste this across, but hopefully it is. Okay,
right.
And you can see it all literally like that.
Just to let everybody know before we go on, the paints and the tools are the same as normal, to be honest. There's no discount on them because there ain't much in it to begin with, to be honest. So it is all the kits that are discounted on one way, shape or form.
Yes.
Now, Ralph, the deals for everybody.
Yes, it is. It's for members and non-members alike. It's all in there. Just out of interest, guys, you might notice that I've discontinued or suspended, I should say, the members discount because obviously you get 15%, and I can't do 15% on already 20% off in some cases. So that's the problem with that one. So obviously the discounts, when this ends at 5 o'clock on Sunday night, then the discount code will come back in at 15% for members of Flory Models for doing it that way. But there we go. Knock yourself out on those guys. But as I said, when it is gone, it is literally gone. There's quite a lot of stock in there. But as I say, some of the kits we've got multiples of, others we've got a few of, and things like that. So good.
Yeah. And
anyway,
the discount will be added in the basket when you're finished.
On the special bit, you mean?
Yeah.
On the specials, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yes. Cool.
Right.
There we have it. Anyway, good evening to our lovely panel. As you can see below, it's like University Challenger here. I'm up at the top, you guys down here. So there we go. So anyway, good evening to everybody again in obviously the chat rooms and everything else. If you have got anything to chirp up about, please feel free. I'd love for you to get involved. So again, I was just saying, it's 10 years of Flory Models having its own stand at Telford.
And look how it's grown.
And it is. The first year we were there, we started off with a tiny, literally, it was a like 6-foot table. We had a little corner thing. It was like a table and a bit. on a thing. And we were down, I think they put us, because it was our first year, literally in the worst place you could possibly be as well at that show. We were in like hall 1, I think it was, in the very back corner. So, literally we're just looking at a wall.
It's in Dead Man's Corner.
It is literally Dead Man's Corner. So there's no light, there's no nothing, and it was a horrible place to be. So I think we begged, borrowed, and scraped to manage the next year. We ended up with a bit further up, so we were not literally in the middle of nothing. And then over the years, we progressed it from being little tiny corner to an end. Then we went an end with wings, and then obviously last year, if you had seen it, we had the big proper stand. So it was like 36 foot of frontage. With it all on there, obviously with the PM side of it joined us along in there with a full stand and everything. So yeah, it was quite funny, I must admit. Very, very interesting time, shall we say, doing it on that scale with vans, lorries, stock, meeting up in car parks, dodgy, switching stock and that from one van to the other.
Like I say, Cosford car park has seen some action.
It has, I tell you what, yeah. It's like, don't look, everyone. So yes. Definitely. So it makes it very, very interesting. But set up on a Friday is one of those ones where all you want to do is get in and out as fast as you can, because it's just cold, bleak, usually raining and horrible.
Yeah, foggy raining normally, isn't it, on Telford weekend?
Yeah.
Guaranteed, yeah.
So it's one of those things where you sort of, you just have to do it. You just get in there, get it done, and then get out, get back to your hotel, chuck your bags in and get down to the bar.
Yeah.
And then you sort of, you can put your foot back and they go, right, okay, then in the morning it all starts properly and away you go. So,
we're usually just leaving and all set up, and Paul's just started.
Yeah, this is Little Cars, which I know really well. I used to work for Little Cars years ago. I used to be on their stand before. That's what I was saying. I think it's 12 years. I did 2 years with Little Cars. What is that?
Fireworks.
Oh, is it fireworks? Crikey.
Yeah.
So yes, it's one of those events though where you almost curse it, because the week leading up to it is absolute chaos, because obviously you're trying to get stock together, you're trying to get everything in there, literally right the way down to your lunch, get your food organised, some drinks to take up, all the bits and pieces. Then you've got the hassle of packing your models, which I assume a lot of you all do as well. It's one of those things of like the best way of getting your model there in one bit. And I've just come to the thing now, I'm literally laying them on pillows and things because it seems to work. So
I'll just say Nathan's got it to a fine art. To get what he gets into a Fiat 500 is a minor miracle, to be honest. It's a work of art to see how he can pack a Fiat.
Yes.
There's not much room left in it. I can't give anyone lifts.
The Kimbrian Bull is saying, is there any footage from the infamous Cosford car park?
I don't think there is, actually. We don't allow filming.
Well, not unless they've got it on CCTV.
Yeah, they've probably got it on CCTV. It's me backing up to it.
Photos. We've had photos. I'm sure we've had some video footage of when we were offloading the van into, or chucking stuff in the back of the van.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, might have at one point.
Sure, there is something somewhere around. Yeah,
it is. I must admit, I think the one of going back, pick a year. I think it was 2 years ago when they had the Challenger, was it recovery truck in there? Do you remember that? The Challenger recovery.
What, when it gassed everybody out?
Gassed everyone, yeah. So they brought in, basically off the back of a low loader, a tank recovery tank. I don't know what's the designation of it? I'm sure somebody in live chat will know what it was.
Yeah, it's a chieftain or a centurion or something. I don't know.
Anyway, they bring this thing in, they put all wood down on the floor, but this thing's doing a 3-point turn in the building and literally gassed everybody in Hall 3. Hall 2 was pretty much a fog, and everyone was like moving out the way because it literally, nightmare. Good old days.
Could have done with the service, that tank, I reckon.
It's definitely burning a bit of oil. An ARV, there we go.
ARV, or Avery.
An Avery, yes.
An Avery, yes.
Armoured recovery vehicle. I can get that one. So yeah, it was. I must admit that was quite a funny year because literally everybody was throwing up and gagging and out the back, and it was like COVID all over again.
It weren't nice, was it?
So yeah.
So when was everybody's first Telford? What year? Can you remember the first Telford you went to?
Yes.
Mine was in the 90s when it was at Donington Park. I know that. I couldn't tell you what year, but it was definitely in the 90s at Donington because that was literally like 2 junctions up the road from me when I was living in Nottingham. So it was very nice and very local. It was good. So that would have been the 90s, would it? Early 2000s?
Yeah,
I think
something like that.
Probably
Late
the
90s.
90s, I think.
Mid-90s, late 90s.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I looked last night. I think the first Telford was 98.
Was it?
Yeah.
Right. And
I remember going to Donington once, and it was the year Aero Club released their 48 scale Lightnings in VAC form.
Mm.
That's when Aero Club were like a big kit maker, and they were doing.
yeah, they were the aftermarket, weren't they? And
I think that's mid-90s, isn't it?
gotta be, hasn't it? It's gotta be. I know somebody will know, and I'll find out tomorrow because he's knowledgeable on these things. I'll ask him. If not in chat, which is probably not. But yeah, so that was probably mine. What about yours, Andy?
Mine was the same. I used to go to. I've been to Donington a few times before that packed in. And then I had a good long break, and my first Telford was about 7 years ago, I think. I can remember walking across the hall to Flory Stand.
And then walking right a wide berth and carrying on.
Yeah, that's what everyone does. You see people coming towards you and swerve off at the last minute.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say which hall it is, but was.
Yes, all 1, 3. What is that now? Is that all 3 or all 1? I don't know. I
never remember which one's 1 and 3.
I always think
with all the international in it.
Yeah, 3's the one with the international. We're in Hall 2, the middle one, and Hall 1's the other one.
All 1's
Three-
where we're
three's-
walking in it.
Yeah, 3's now the entrance, isn't it? Whereas it used to be 1.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're bringing them in the
Was
other way now.
Or was it
Yeah.
2 was the entrance? Can't remember.
No,
but we
Hall
got
1 was
one,
air kicks, isn't it?
the train. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
sad.
they used to bring them in through Hall 1, wasn't it? And then they switched it to Hall 3 now.
Yeah,
Sort of better
Yeah.
flow, apparently.
yeah. Because the kit swap used to be in Hall 3, didn't it?
Yeah.
And the bottom where the entrance.
Yeah. On one of the walls, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Quick
that's
one
fine.
here, Andy. One for you. DJ says, "Has Andy dyed his hair?" I swear it wasn't that dark last time he was on. You know, he's got a point, but he's missed a bit round here if he has.
And on the sides.
That just for men.
It's
That's
it's
Flory
very-
Wash.
That's why.
Is it
it's just-
Flory Wash or is it XF85?
Yeah. Better than the Vallejo red I had on me the other day.
Yes. So yeah, we've got Phil. I remember seeing you with the little car stand at Perth one year. Jesus, that was a hell of a run. That was. You were demonstrating your wash. There you go, Gordon. That was a few years ago now. That's got to be 10 years ago going up there. But yeah, I drove all the way up. Like you do. Bearing in mind, I am in like the southeast part of England. I'm literally down in the bottom of the bit down in Torquay, and I actually was in Torquay then, and drove up to Birmingham, got in with little cars, and then with little cars we went up to Perth, and then that night we came back and we left the show at about, knowing what little cars is like, anyone who knows Paul, if he's watching this, you know what you like, Paul. He takes forever to pack up. I think we got to something like, we drove from Perth coming straight back, and I got to there about, I think it was about 3 in the morning to back to Birmingham, and then from Birmingham back, and I got home at 7:30 in the morning and drove it right the way through the night, came back. Wouldn't do that again. That was not a fun drive back. I'm driving back like Scooby-Doo with my head out the door trying to get some air, you know, stopping off at everyone just said, just give us neat coffee. And they're like, would you like it? No, give us the beans and I'll chew on them raw, trying to keep me awake coming home. So, yes, those were the fun days, but that's a long, old trip. We have said about going back up and doing the Scottish Nationals over the years, but yes, it is a very, very long trip up there.
It's not
Roger
Roger
Rawson says his first show was Milton Keynes last year, and his first Telford is going to be 2022.
You're probably right.
I think you might be right for 2022.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Is that somebody's lottery numbers up there? 12, 13, 29, 47, 49, 50. I don't even know what that is. I'm missing something there.
Gordon says, amazing thing, this time last year, we're all getting excited about the prospect of the Wingnut Wings 32nd Lancaster.
Yeah, look, now they've gone. Terrible, really, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Bit sad, isn't it? Never mind.
How's the big guy feeling now? That'll be you, Andy. We need badges. You can tell them, Andy.
Andy, can you do me a favour? Sorry for interrupting this. Can you whip on the site quick and go to Obbyboss SU22 and sort the weight out. There's a wrong weight in it. It's charging somebody like 16 quid to post it to Dundee. That's the weight problem. We have a weight problem.
We have a weight problem.
Yes, we have a weight problem.
Yeah, but I'm feeling miles better, to be honest with you. Thank you very much.
He's been out today. I'll tell you, he's been out shopping, ain't you, Andy? You've been to the shops all on his own.
Yeah.
He's been first time out on his own. You know, make sure you got your phone with you.
You do look a lot better anyway. I have to say.
They're saying he's got to be better because his hair's looking majestic.
It needs cutting when you getting it all trimmed back again.
Well, I had an airport next week, but that's
I thought you were doing it.
yeah, I had interest in.
Don't get a COVID cut.
That's where I'll be. I'll be like you.
That's what I've had the past couple of times. Yeah.
I will be now because my appointment would have been in a couple of weeks, and obviously that's gone. So I'll be having my Pierce Brosnan haircut if I don't get it cut.
There you go. Gary says, Telford 2009, my first year that you got some. He's got some nice video of me working on the Little Cars stand in a Little Cars t-shirt. Wash on tags. How young you look. I know, Gary, I do. To be honest, when I was doing a little bit of research for this, I was going to show some videos, but because of copyright and all the rest of it, even though it's my videos, I'll probably get a copyright strike knowing me. Anyway, I look about 12 on it. And the thing is, it was only last year. No, it wasn't. It was like you say, from there, it was like the early 2000s and that. And what I'll do is I'll try and get some stills and various things. And perhaps we'll show them on tomorrow night's show. Because that'd be quite interesting. And if you have got any photos from Telford you think would be share, amusing preferably, because you know what we're like, then feel free to send them to me at sales@florymodels.com. .co.uk, wrong one. Yeah, sales@florymodels.co.uk. Send me your photos and we'll show them.
Is that going to be a montage then for
we
Sunday?
can do a little montage and everything and do it on Sunday on the last one as well.
Sunday afternoon when we're closing the montage.
Yeah. So if you've got pictures, especially of like, if you're a member of like an IPMS chapter or one of the groups or something else like that, of your stand over the years, send them over and we'll show them because it'll be quite interesting to look back at that.
Yeah.
So, yes, good job. So, John, how about yours? What are your memorable moments of Telford?
I can't remember what year my first one was, but you had a little corner stand.
Yes. That would have been around about 2000, 2001. He thinks. Was our first year when we were down in the bottom corner.
I don't know.
Well, that'd be good because I only joined in 2010. I reckon it must have been about 8 or 9 years ago.
Oh, right, yeah. Sorry, yeah, well, perhaps it was then, about 2012 then, yeah?
Yeah, and I did that thing, walked bravely up to the stand and then walked straight past without saying a word.
Look, I don't know who your hot girl video is, but you're on me already.
Pardon? Maybe
to...
spammed.
Oh, we're getting spammed, I think.
Oh, well. Oh, no, getting spammed.
Matt, I can't see it, Matt.
What, the SU22? Hobby Boss? 48 one. Fitter. 17. Fitter, 17.
That's
what I said, 22, 17, isn't it, John? Same thing.
You never mentioned 17.
John, tell him, John.
Not the same, is it, John? One's a export and one's a...
John's going to now go through the subtle differences of 17.
What, like we had to do the other night?
The 22 is the export version of the 17.
Yeah, but what's the difference?
Lumps and bumps.
7 kilos.
Lumps and bumps and avionics.
7 kilos.
Sorry about that. I think that should be 0.7 or 0.6. Sorry, that's a bit of a typo. No wonder it's expensive.
That's heavy, kit.
Gordon says, if you wanted to say hello to John, Nathan and Andy at a future Telford, what stands are they on?
There's only one stand.
Well, you might find Nathan at the Luftwaffe SIG, which is normally right opposite Ennis anyway.
Even though he spends more time on our...
Yeah, even though he's usually vandals anyway. So, yes. You can't miss our one, because I think we're almost up there with one of the biggest stands there at the moment, I think.
Yeah, we're next to that great big yellow one in the corner.
Yes.
Well, I work for Matt and Phil at the shows, so I'm always with them.
Well, he says he does. It's more like his wife, if we're honest.
Yeah, my wife goes.
You know what? Hey, saying that, I got that tonight because I said, right, I goes to Leslie, right, I'm off, and I'll see you in a couple of hours. And I said to her, I felt a bit knackered, I think, when I got home. Anyway, she goes, well, all you do at Telford is talk anyway. She's right.
That's fighting talk, that is. But she is right.
I think, I want a bit of support from her, not like kick me in the nuts or a go on here.
Apparently, the SU-22 has a cheap radar.
The difference between
cheaper
the
radar.
22 and 17 is cheaper things for the export market might always be the same different things that are different either.
You're not going to know in 48 scale.
Yeah, it'll have downgraded avionics.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, Dennis, honestly, shipping to Canada,
don't bother, mate.
don't bother. If you're outside the UK and Europe, don't bother. It's
Don't
not us.
bother.
It's literally, we charge what it costs. And we just, literally, we think it'd be cheaper to put it in Andy's hand luggage and to post him. He could deliver it to your door cheaper, I'm sure sometimes. It is crazy how they do it. But unfortunately, the postage this year has gone through the roof. Literally, even we were talking about it, beginning of the year, things were quite, still expensive, but it wasn't ridiculous. Now it's just ridiculous. So unfortunately, yeah, there's not a lot we can do about that one.
No, sorry for our international friends, but yeah, post, especially kits, is just horrendous.
Nigel says, do we have bottles of super thin glue, super glue, that aren't Zap?
No, that's what we have. Zap.
Says
We will be having a new range of super glue.
I have a screw on lid and I haven't been sat on the shelf a month. I guess it doesn't like Zap. Sorry.
As long as it has mid-open, as soon as it's open, they deteriorate, isn't it?
Yeah, they do have a shelf life. And it's
Super glue
not
has a
very...
shelf life. I know you can pop it in the fridge, and people say in the dark place in the fridge, and it keeps and all the rest of it. But I can't be bothered to walk to the fridge every time I need super glue. That's my trouble. I am lazy. I am that person.
Rob says, Airfix 7-second Lightning, what's the correct colour? Green, silver, grey?
Yeah, great pick. Which scheme are you doing? It'd be ice speed silver, wouldn't it?
If it's an early one, yeah, but then it could be green if it's a
F2A.
in journal.
Yeah. And then it's barley grey and
Barley grey.
light
Well,
aircraft grey, isn't it? For
they
labour.
did different ways of doing it, though, didn't they?
Yeah, and they had the grey and the green as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Then silvers sometimes underneath instead of greys underneath, and
Anyway, a good high speed silver, which Andy will demonstrate tomorrow, is an LP11
Yes.
or SM201 super silver. Is it the Gunsy one? You've got that one there, Andy, haven't you?
yeah. Sorry, the what? Yeah.
Yeah. Not even listening. Not even listening.
I'm reading the chat. Sorry, what were you saying?
The super metallic, the SM01, 201. Sorry, silver.
Yeah.
That one.
That's a good one. But I think LP11 is probably really best one, isn't it? For
I like LP11.
Yeah,
Glad
okay, that was
they're
really,
in.
yeah.
And then Attacker's silver, which is number 2 or 3, is actually not a bad silver either for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kimberly and Ball says, any chance of buying Flory Models t-shirts and polos?
Yeah, we're planning on getting that sorted, maybe, but just before Christmas. We're allocating some funds to get some merch done. So obviously, like the aprons, which one is famously, I don't know if it's still hanging there on the Telford gate this afternoon, but it was this afternoon. But yeah, so we're thinking obviously it'll be the aprons, it'll be the polo shirts probably again. There's a couple of other things. We did some merch the other week I showed. Obviously the mugs and that, which the members will get usual. Those will be probably next week. I'll get them sorted up on the site and everything.
Yeah.
So yes.
Barry's ordered his fitter. Thank you,
There
Barry.
you go. Sorry about that, Barry. 7 kilograms excessive.
That's a bit, it's got a lot of
Posting a real one.
aftermarket.
No wonder none of them sold.
Yeah.
Sean says, I'm considering buying the Edard long range Iwo Jima.
Yep.
Just had a question. Are the lightly less dressed ladies sensors, decal censored? I don't think they're censored, but they're not really.
they're not that detailed, are they?
Detailed,
That
no.
scale.
Well, they're not that explicit.
No.
Yeah.
But they're not pixelated out.
Right. I've not got one, so I don't know. Andy's got one, haven't you?
I mean, the figures on there, they're only going to be like a centimetre tall, aren't they, in 1/48 scale?
We magnify, yeah.
Tiny, tiny.
I don't think I've got one anyway, I'm not sure.
Oh, you had one?
Well, I don't know. Possibly I have. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. Look at your spreadsheet.
You know better than I do.
Gordon says, aside from sprue glue, do you have any recommendations for filler? Again, we were speaking about this the other week. I do like the old perfect plastic putty because it's water-based, so it dissolves with water. So you just wet a cotton bud and you can wipe it away. So if you've got any area with like raised details especially, but obviously with recessed, you can actually get rid of it. So you don't make any sort of damage or have to go around sanding afterwards. So that's quite nice. But with everything, it shrinks. So you might need a couple of coats on there. But really, I just tend to use the old sprue glue. I like it because, again, I've got it in two forms. I've got like a thick one and a thin one. So between both of them, they really do it. So it's good structural. So if you've got like a wing joint or something else, because it literally welds, you don't crack. Like some super glue ones will do. To be honest with you, it's something I do want to play with because over the last few months, we've been speaking about other versions, haven't we? Such as obviously AK do one now. It'd be nice if we could get the Tamiya one in, you know, and stuff like that, and have a play.
Well, the other one is obviously we stocked it. Is the Squadron?
Yeah,
but I just can't get it at the minute for whatever reason. It's not been come back in stock. So whether it's a production thing, I don't know. But the Squadron one is very now it's been reformulated. It's very similar to that Tamiya grey one, which is acetone based, which I quite like.
Yeah.
Rather than the water based ones. But again, it's getting it, to be honest. It's stocking it.
I like the Vallejo one. You can see how this bottle has lasted. Look at the state of the label.
Yeah.
Because I found the perfect plastic putty. I always had problems with the lids and the bottles and it'd dry out. But the Vallejo plastic putty is almost as good as the...
To be honest, I always used to say that stuff freaking same stuff, isn't it?
It is. I reckon it is same.
I think one's just in a bottle, one's normal.
Well, that stuff, the Tamiya basic type, you can't get it in the UK properly for some reason.
It's like a thing in it.
It's a labelling issue, isn't it?
Labelling issue, unfortunately, in it, which is such a shame because it is a fab product. It's really, really good. I mean, there is obviously the Mr. White and Mr. White Putty R from Guns as well. Yeah. I'm 100% not sure if they are they water based. I presume they are like the AK ones, are they?
It says it's that's someone.
It's not a salt-based one, is it?
Yeah, that Vallejo one I've got somewhere.
I had it in the little tube, you know, the little like toothpaste thing, and you got the Yeah.
This has got flammable on the back, so.
I know it's fine thinking, Nate, but can you squirt a bit out and thin it with some like extra thin, and just see if it melts?
Yeah, I've got that stuff. I think it does.
The glue.
Yeah,
because that's like acetone, isn't it? So
just while Nathan's doing that, Alan Reed says, will all the demos be available for viewing later or later viewing?
Depends how good they
All
are.
of these, that's it. What we'll probably do, to be honest with you, is next week I'll edit them out because obviously I don't know exactly when they're going to be. We're going to try and start them on time, but you know what it's like. But what I'll do is I will clip and edit them. And then they will be standalones, and they'll be free to watch as well. So
can I just thinking? Can I just explain my demo?
Yes.
My demo is, as you can see, I've got like.
Hold on, let me put you on full screen.
Full screen. Some resin heads.
Hold on, there he is.
For the macabre look, I've got some resin heads I've been painting. Obviously, if you've not seen it, there's the Rick Toffen bust. So I'm going to give a bit of a demo on how I do it with the oil paint. I'm not going to get to this stage because of obviously the drying time, but you'll get the basics. And my plan is the electrics due to be fitted. I'm hoping there's going to be fitted today, but that's not materialised. So fingers crossed next week I should be back in my own office, which then I can do a proper full-on demo of how to do it from start to finish. So I'll do the best to explain it as I'm going through, but you know, there's only so much I'll be able to do in the time space.
Yeah.
And Phil, do you use a different airbrush when using metallics?
I do. Yeah. Purely because I'll tell you, there's a story to this. A couple of weeks ago, I was spraying a certain model, and I thought I cleaned out my airbrush, and it ended up being metallic, so I had to respray it. purely because it had a little bit of silver left over. But I must admit, I do use a separate airbrush, one for metallics, and it just has metallics through it. And then my other one is just for general everything else. Yeah.
So which one is it used for metallics then?
To be honest, I use my Iwata HPCS.
I thought you were going to say I use the one that's clean.
No. I must admit, no. It's over the other side. And this one's soaking because I haven't done any spraying for a while, so it needs a bit of a soak because it's so there's that. But I use the 270 for literally everything, but for metallic-y stuff, because also as well, to be honest, when you spray metallics, it's not like you're using it for weathering and trying to move it around. You're just putting it down because it tends to just be big areas. So that's why I tend to use that one. And because it's got that in it, it doesn't matter if you put any other metallic into it later on. So you don't have to keep it as clean and flush it through. But that's just the perks of having 2 airbrushes. So just keep one for that. I know other people have 3 because they have one for clear stuff. So
I think that's the joy of having like using lacquers though, isn't it? Because they do self-clean.
Yeah.
So
That's thinned with extra thin glow.
So it is solvent based then.
It's really nice.
There you go then. There's some with
fixing the seams.
Well, you'd already sanded that and rescribed it, and
I have done
it. And
I've decided to drill like a 9mm hole in the top of it for an astrodome.
where is he? Oh, he's over here. You all moved round. You've thrown me.
are you other guys also watching the chat on the forum?
No, you're supposed to be doing that because I haven't even got it on.
I thought I was doing. You told me to do.
No, I said I'll do YouTube if you do the other ones.
I've been doing all YouTube.
Because I haven't got it turned on. When I had to reset everything, I had to turn it off.
Hold on, Winnebago John.
Winnebago John, he's asked when and how did we get together as a team?
When what, sorry?
When and how did we get together as a team?
Phil's fault.
Blame me.
When I were a lad.
You know, if you could turn back time.
Yeah.
You know that thing where you think you've got a good idea? To be honest, it's been that long now. I don't actually remember as and when it actually happened, but it probably happened when you guys used to come to the barbecues, wouldn't it? We used to do members' barbecues. When we were small, we used to have 20, 30 people round here for a barbecue, and this lot never left.
My first barbecue was I was going on holiday down to Cornwall with my wife, and realised that Phil was having a barbecue at the same weekend. So I persuaded her that we were going to stop off the night stop off at Phil's for the day to go to the barbecue, and then some friendly person then ripped off my wing mirror.
That was it. You lost a wing mirror.
Yeah.
To this day, it's still taped on.
And now I used to go to holidays a lot down that way and just call in at Phil's.
Yeah.
Basically, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Coming in.
Yeah, that's how I got. So then I sort of got to know all the guys in the team and whatever, and then
it's evolved, hasn't it?
Yeah,
pretty much. So
I started going down on Sundays. You used to have a meet on Sundays, didn't you, once a month?
Yeah, we didn't stream them. It was just for the members in the local area. And also, that's how you guys got to meet as well up there, wasn't it? 'Cause you guys used to have members meets locally. That's how we used to do it. So, and John used to come down, and we used to have, amazingly, quite a few people crammed in here, wouldn't it? So it was always a bit cosy down in here. And so we'd have 7 or 8 people in here. And so John used to come down to them, really. But it seems a long time ago.
I was going to say, just think, they've all thinking now, because we have them at the shop when we can, don't we? Once a month. We have proper, and that seems like a lifetime ago since last one we've had of them, doesn't it? Really, with people actually in. Be nice when we can do it again, to be honest. I think, and get that back up and running.
It will be when we get back to normal again. It'd be nice to get the store open to obviously you guys to come and visit. And as I say, we usually do the monthly things, and it's not just a members meet up. Anyone can turn up to it, you know.
I say anybody's welcome, because we started getting demos going upstairs.
Yeah, we had demos going and doing various things. I sprayed the Hunter up there.
Yeah, and Kev's been up on it doing a demos on doing dios and all sorts. It was good, and I was hoping to actually progress with that, weren't we, and get some more people in and different, different strength in genres, and do do a bit more with it. But we will see. We will see
It'll
what.
come back one day.
Matthew, can we get the artillery Battle of Britain Stuka 48th?
I don't think so. Is it in production?
I don't know.
I don't think that's in production. I don't know. I would have to have a look. If I can, then yes. If it's, I'll have. Like I say, I'll have.
It's from a supplier that I can't see on the website, and Matt normally talks to him on the phone every 10 minutes. So
No, you not have it.
won't he?
No, if that's all. Hobbyco's the thing, in it. So.
Yeah.
Is that what he's on about?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was on about Gary at Tiger.
Oh, him as well. He talked about every other 10 minutes to him as well.
Actually,
Yeah.
I spoke to Ian tonight before I left after I got off the phone to you, I think.
Yeah.
So I'll have a look. I will have a look.
An Airfix one coming out soonish.
Yeah, the Airfix one's proper good. But well, obviously it's not out for a reason because it's delayed. But it's a shame because it's that is a proper good kit. That is. We've got the other one in the R1. Is it the Airfix do?
The Airfix, it's hilarious. I've got an 80th anniversary Battle of Britain one, and it is. You might be able to get your hands on it actually. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if I can, I will. I'll get it in, and Andy will put it into stock because we can get it. It's obviously we ain't got it up, but we can get it if it's in stock. I can order it, and we'll get it in next week. So if you don't mind a bit of a little wait, that would
It's
be
doable, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, Private Snafu says, question, is High Altitude Hobby still a Flory Models distributor? Can you send coffee cups and things to them to save on shipping costs? It might be an idea. Brett actually will probably be on tomorrow's show at some point. He is saying he's going to pop on with us, so we'll ask him. I better talk to him beforehand, clearly. But I think he is in the chat somewhere. I saw him earlier. So he is around in the wings. So I will speak to him about that. It might be an idea for us to ship it out, and then if Brett can pass them on. But obviously I have to do a deal with Brett to cover his shipping costs and stuff like that. Just depends on how it'll work out, getting them out there and stuff like that. We'd have to somewhat figure it out before we committed to it. But yes, it could be a thing to do with that one. Is the Airfix Sabre going to be the Canadair one?
Yeah, it
Yes,
is.
it is.
It is, isn't it, I think?
Yeah, it's the Canadair one. Yeah.
Alan says, thanks. I plan to drop in when I came over for the weekend. It's nice to know I'll be able to catch up with what I missed later. You will. Yes, don't panic. All of these will be watched. You can watch this again and reminisce next year when we're not there.
It'll be all right next year.
My chat's playing up for some reason.
Is it? Oh. Roger says, first experience with Flory. I was on holiday in Buxton, and on the way home I visited Doncaster in 2018. Never looked back since.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
That would be one of our first opening things, wasn't it, as well, I think?
It would, yeah. It would have. It was a lovely day. It was a lovely summer's day. I think it was pretty warm when he came. Because he came with his
two
overall.
weathers in Doncaster, bloody hot, or it's freezing,
That's horrible.
or almost underwater.
Right, just a thing. Yeah, we can get it for this Stuka, so we'll get it put up and in the shop, and then I'll order it in.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think it's just come out, hasn't it?
It literally has. Yeah, I've not even been told about that.
Mhm.
Man,
Ed
that's
Longy says,
ooh,
Airfix Javelin question mark.
well, but yeah, they're in stock. We've got them. Well, it's out. It's available.
Yeah,
It's-
the Javelin's not been delayed. It's the Vulcan that's been delayed.
And the Civics
The
have
Vix
been
has been
cancelled.
dropped.
Oh, can I just point out something we've had? We've got in
Yes.
the Trumpet 1144 Vulcan,
Ooh.
which has been hard to get since it was released.
It did. They did, because I reviewed that one and never seen it again.
It's a cracking little kit, to be honest, isn't it? When you
Yeah.
reviewed it, because
Yeah,
I think
it
we auctioned one off. A few things, your review sample got auctioned off, and like Trumpy stuff over here has been quite hard to get hold of, isn't it?
Mm.
But our good friends in Germany seem to have good stocks, and they've got it in. So
Cool.
There you
Yes.
go.
Cool.
That is, isn't it?
Patrick wants to know when Perfect Plastic Putty will be back.
Right, I'm working on it because they've changed stockist, so I've had to apply for a new account with a new supplier, and they do Perfect Plastic Putty products. So
Okay, here's a good one. Nigel says, "Hi guys, I've gone back to my childhood and pre-ordered the Airfix. Can you guess? 1/24 scale Spitfire.
yeah,
Do you know if anyone plans to make resin wheel wells the only thing that really lets it down?"
It's been out since 1960 something, hasn't it? If they haven't made it by now, I can't see anyone bothering.
They've had plenty of time to get around to
tell
it.
you what you need to do. You need to learn CAD and buy a 3D printer.
Yeah.
Sell sets.
I think about the only aftermarket you can get for it is, I know Airscale, I think, do instrument panel, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's about it.
Didn't another company do a load of stuff for it? And they did stuff for their Harriers and that in 1/24. I don't know if it's
Heritage.
Heritage. That's the one. Heritage Aviation, was it?
Yeah, I think they've fallen.
I think they've gone it. They
Yeah,
did
that's going back a few years.
Winnebago Johnson, it came out in 1971. And to be fair, like Nigel said, it's not a nice kit, is it?
To be honest, the trouble with that kit is it's old. So it's proper old modelling, isn't it? You're going to need filler. You're going to be sanding. You're going to, plastic hard wedges and all the rest of it, because it is what it is. It's the traditional modelling. It's just one up from whittling out of wood.
Yeah.
It's just one up. Hey, it's one up from a Mac 2 kit.
Well, yeah, I can vouch for that.
Yeah. I mean, I have built one, and if you leave all the panels and the engine all exposed and all the gun bays open, it's all right. It's not bad. But if you try and close them all up, they just
Go.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I've got the 109, Anthony.
I've got one of the Spitfires.
I've got the second worst one, the 190 to do.
The thing is as well, though, you know with them 1/24 kits, the earlier versions you can get, the better fit you'll get. Because obviously the molds wear out over the years, and obviously that's like a 40-odd-year-old mold now, isn't it? Literally, it's coming up to, or 50.
I think the Hurricane's a better one, isn't it?
Years old, isn't it, really? The Hurricane.
That's coming back out there, the Hurricane as well, isn't it? They're doing the Hurricane Spitfire in 109.
Yeah.
Chris said they're okay as long as you leave them in the box.
I don't know. I'm going to tackle that 109. Have you seen?
Probably their best one, isn't it?
Hey, have you seen that video, Nate, John?
What's that?
Of the Stuka that's being built.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks
for acknowledging me, by the way, for that. Shit.
I reckon it's a good project. It's just a long project doing one of them.
Yeah.
They're impressive though, because at least you can get. If you get the later boxings, you've got better decals, haven't you? The problem with the early boxings is the decals are just rubbish.
No.
But then the molds are wore out, and you get better decals with the later one. But I think, obviously, with Airfix now using who they use for decals for these latest ones they're bringing out, they're going to be really good decals, especially in that scale. Unless, of course, you're going to spray them on.
Any word on the Airfix Buccaneer Beaufort release, Matt?
Yeah, well, that's it. I was just
December.
had that one there.
The date's December, isn't it? Because I had an email through about all the dates. So if it sticks to it, it's on about December for them, and then March for the Vulcan was.
Yeah. And Chris says that the 1/24 Stuka wasn't a bad kit. We were given some last year, was it? The year before? Last year. And I had first. Well, Nathan had first dibs because he was there first, but I don't know whether he actually chose any.
Why didn't you keep one? You got them both.
Yeah, but I got first dibs, and there was a 190 and a Stuka, and I know the Stuka's a better kit.
You picked the
For some reason, I chose the 190. And John had the Stuka.
Better aircraft.
190 better aircraft, yeah.
It is, but it's a pretty bad kit, though, isn't it? It's not great.
I don't know whether we're ready for this yet, but Chris Robbins says 2021 SIGs and group builds, guys.
Yeah, we'll do it in a minute.
Yeah,
I'm
not
going to make them wait. They've got to go through all the adverts yet. I'm going to bombard them with that. In Bay 1, we have All right, we've got a couple more questions, and yeah, we will get round to that one. Up my mic. What I've done is I've just turned that little rabble down. So if you just turn everybody up now, you should be okay. I don't know why. I am full on. I've just checked my settings. Also, somebody was there saying about any recommendations for a gold foil look for the Apollo lunar lander.
Metal foil.
You can.
But they do
Or
gold.
there is another thing which I've been playing with recently.
We've been boiling.
So,
We've been boiling.
as a lot of you know, I'm on an industrial estate here, and you can almost get anything. So I was off talking to some guys, and they said, "Yeah." I said, "Can I have a couple of bits of metal?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure, help yourself." So what we've got here, this is basically aluminium foil, but it's 0.25 mil. So it's like twice the thickness of. Can't really see it there. There you go. It's this. It's tons of it. This apparently is a small sample. I don't know what they think I'm doing with it. But yeah, so anyway, this is literally foil. But the great thing is you can rip all this, and you could technically spray it gold, and you'd have that perfectly ripply type of effect with it, because you can make this. It's literally, if you imagine thick tin foil. So it's a great way of doing it. But yes.
Hey, do you know that technique of boiling it with eggshells? Is it so you get that good metal look?
Yeah.
Do you think you could do that with that?
Don't know. Don't see why not.
Because that's just with aluminium tin foil, like
Yeah.
food foil, isn't it? I wonder if because you get quite a nice effect with that, don't you?
But yeah, but you can get hold of like foil like this, and they do it like really thick and thin. But the great thing is you can mould it almost exactly to the shape you want, and because it's slightly thicker than tin foil, it will hold its size. It literally is like using lead, so you can sort of bend it round and ripple it, and you can always just spray it. I don't know if they do, obviously in copper and stuff like that as well. And then that way you've almost got the colour, haven't you? If you was to polish up copper,
Yeah.
you'd pretty much be on the spot there. It would look pretty much like it. So that might be an idea. But just very, very thin. This company down the road, apparently they do like, 0.25 mil, and then they'll go like 0.2, 0.175, I think it is, right the way down to very, very thin stuff. So.
Keith Russell says orange Kit Kat wrapper.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea
as well.
Yeah.
Just quickly, who was it? Where am I? One of the guys. Sorry, can't find it. It's moving on me. One of the guys said, "What's the status again on the javelin map?" The javelin came out a couple of months ago, and it's
in.
stopped in the site.
Yeah, it's on the site.
I can't remember who asked for it. I can't find it. It keeps moving.
Yep.
This is why I hate this bit so much.
Stefan says, good evening, chaps. Any tips on how to give metal panels on aircraft a stressed look? Trust me, I'm an expert on that now. You can't see it up here. It's living on the wall. I hang them all on the wall now, all the bomber fleet. But I had was it this year we did it? No, last year.
Last year.
She's literally just came back a few months ago from Doncaster. She was on holiday up there. But literally doing stress skin on the B-52. So I stress skinned the entire body of it to give it. So we ended up using a wood carving tool, which these types of things. So it's basically these ball-headed things on these fantastic things. And then literally I've got various different shapes down there. You can just do it, not using the small ones, use a big one and just hack the hell out of it. But if you have a look at the B-52 build on the actual site itself, which is if you go into video builds and then go B-52, there should be some horrendous photos of me fighting with it down in here somewhere when we were doing it all. I can't remember at what point we were trying to, there we go, we were trying to rip the hell out of it and do the stress skin for it. And we were trying with the little ones, and eventually I just used a giant version, just trying to give it that sort of, stress skin ripply effect. That's the one we used. And by literally knocking it as it was skipping down, it was perfect. Well, I think it's perfect. In my eye, it works really well. And then obviously we've just having to go around and do all the other bits. But a bit later on, we just zip down to the build. I think it turned out all right. Get a picture of one with it in. Hold on.
If you want to see stress, you should have seen Phil at 25 to 8.
Yeah, literally, just as we were gone live. So yes, that's what you call proper stressed. But yeah, so that's how I sort of go about doing the old stress skin thing. It works for me.
Stephen Wright, Phil, any news on 2021 mugs?
Yeah, after this, obviously get this weekend out of the way. I'll put them up on the site. They'll be in the pre-order section. You can go up there, do it. I've got everything pretty much in place. I've just got to order them. But we've already signed off on the design and all the bits and pieces and the colour and everything, the print quality. I've even got the boxes turned up to ship them in because they all turned up the other week. So we're pretty much there. But obviously with all the orders hopefully coming in from this weekend, I want to get them out of the way. And then obviously, because obviously it'll be over 350, 400 mugs going out. So I want to clear the decks and get ready for that one.
Yeah, it was Ed Longy was asking about the javelins, but yeah, Ed, they're definitely available and in stock.
Rob's asking Phil if he's going to spill the beans on the Star Trek sci-fi build, so that he can get a kit and build along like he did with the Discovery.
Yeah, we've already done it. She's here, ready to go. Again, we'll be getting this one going. Now the podcast is basically done. We are doing, Trek Star.
Trek Star.
So yeah, going to be doing that one for it. So that's the plan. Anyway, with that particular MiG. But now the old Bowcaster's pretty much done. It's got a couple of bits coming in for that one, and we'll be good to go. And then I'll be getting on with that because, as I say, the MRAP. But there's the MRAP. It's all in here.
Steve Little says, "Evening guys. Any tips on making homemade laser cannons for the 72nd Millennium Falcon?" I don't even know what they look like.
Yeah, they're a bit odd in the shape, the way that they go. So you can just drill out the kit part. Depends which kit you've got. Obviously, when I did the one at the beginning of the year, which is the first build of the year with the Bandai one, that thing's like a work of art. If you compare it to the Fujami one, not Fujami, Fine Molds.
Fine molds.
Yeah, it's a lot nicer parts on it, and you can just drill out the ends, and that's what I did. I used just a reamed out the ends for them. I don't know, you might be able to find online, somebody does aftermarket ones. Might be worth having a look around on that one.
Will the merch be ready for Christmas?
Again, we are in a pandemic. That's the problem you've got. Printers are a little bit like they're either seem to be doing nothing or they're flat out. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I would love to say yes, no, but I can't promise anything at the moment because, again, we've had supply issues all year long, literally. Like the Sanders, I was supposed to get literally just under 50,000 Sanders should have turned up this week, and now they haven't. So they're turning up on Wednesday. And again, it's just been a fight all the way trying to get production slots and various things through. So I imagine it's going to be the same with the printer. But hopefully, the mugs definitely be before Christmas. The merch, I'm hoping to get it done before Christmas as well, but I can't promise anything on that one.
Ed's in the States, so yeah, shipping's going to be a fortune on that.
It's going to be a nightmare because they're not even a small box.
Yeah, but they're available over here, Ed, so I would have thought they'd be available over here.
Yeah, they should be available over there, surely.
Yeah.
But yeah, shipping's going to cost more than the kit.
And the Millennium Falcon he's got is the Revel one.
Which would be the Fine Molds Reeboks.
No, it could be the other one though, couldn't it?
Oh yeah, it could be the other one. Yeah, they did a
cheapy
type one as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's a pretty cool plastic one.
To be honest with you, I just think drilling out the barrels improves.
To be honest, I think that's all I did on mine. We just put a reamer in it and just twiddle. That's what it took.
It's especially good with that little blue tool that's in front of you.
What, these that may be available coming soon to a...
hold on
I was very disappointed. I had to charge it up yesterday.
Hold on, back up a bit. They're in stock, mate. We've got them.
Oh, are they already in? Sorry. Shows what I know. But yes, I have done a review. I've been playing with it for the last 2 weeks. And we pulled the trigger on it. So they are in.
They're good little tool.
Just quick. Sorry, Winnebago John says, question... Are the SIGs and group builds open to raw beginners? Want to try, but my efforts are well below most of the picks I see.
Absolutely, of course it is. Don't forget, we don't do prizes for first, second, and third. It literally is taking part.
Yeah.
Which, I don't want to sound like a total tree hugger, and it's the taking part, but it literally is with us because we don't have prizes like that. Everybody's a winner. Everybody gets a medal, and usually some bits. We did Sanders this time as well, and various things. So, yeah.
Can I just say we did mention, right, and I think we do need to do this, of our past builds.
Yes.
You know, I've got some that I found on my OneDrive, and I did show Andy. Can you remember when I showed you them photos, Andy?
Yeah.
And, you know, it is what it is. It's when I came back to the hobby. I don't think I've got any from when, like, back in the day, but you can see the progression, and you know, we did say
We are going to do a special
about
show, aren't we? We will do a special show because I've got stuff as well back in the day on one of my drives as well, and we're going to do a thing of getting out our really cringy stuff and showing. But that is the point of it. You learn by it. You make your way through. It's a natural progression. As I said, this is one of those hobbies where it's practice, practice, practice. You know, there's a lot of muscle memory, airbrushing, even sanding, riveting, scribing, all of those things, even masking up. It can be an art form, you know? So it's not something you pick up. So when you're beginning, don't panic.
No, I think the more you put in, the more you get out as well, isn't it, really? It's one of them, let's say.
And different genres have got different, like building armour is completely different to building aircraft. I used to always build armour, and that's all I ever built. Come on to aircraft. It's all like, it was a, what's to do with this thing down the middle of the spine of the thing? What's to do with that great big gap?
Proper modelling.
Yeah.
Just a quickie a minute. Scott says he's just added the new Airfix Civil Spit to the car.
Yeah.
And the discount didn't pop.
Is it on checkout that the discount's applied?
All right, well, Andy, have a look at that. It's not a problem. We'll sort that for you.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a quick question, because I know I've got two people in front of me who know the answer. Is there any difference between Mr. Metal Primer R and Mr. Metal Primer? John, you've got it, haven't you? Primer R's the H one, isn't it?
I don't know. Is there two? I didn't know there was two. I just got.
So Mr. Metal Primer R and what?
Mr. Metal Primer.
We don't stop Mr. Metal Primer because we can only get Primer R. So.
Oh, right. Because the R is the Acid Etch one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got that one. That's. I assumed the only one they did.
Mm.
Didn't realise they do another one.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Might have to look into that.
Mm. So yeah, but the R type is literally a very mild acid etch. The idea is it pits the surface so it grips and it doesn't flake off or peel in it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling I know why the aircraft that didn't pop.
Okay.
Because you didn't do it.
Because somebody's put it into the shop.
The wrong section, have they? Who does stuff like that?
No, he's not putting my label on it.
What, you say Matt would do something like that?
Yeah, and the Folding nat that's next to it.
Oh, do you know what, Andy?
You can't get the stuff anymore.
Oh, no.
What else have you done?
Oh yeah, we'll discuss this off here because that's a major balls up from that part. Oh God, what a doyle. And then, oh no, right, yeah. Carry on. Do something else, Sherlock.
I know the Spitfire's fixed, so you'll have the discount on it now.
Right. Do you want to take us, Nathan, through a magical mystery tour of what's coming up on this or next year's SIGs and group builds? Now, everyone, grab yourself a drink.
Get ready.
Get ready. The school teacher is about to lecture us. I'm going to feel like a child again at school.
Andy, mute yourself. I'm going to ring you. I'll be back in a minute. Enjoy, Nate.
Right, okay. Nate can do that. You two can sort it out. Right, Nate, ready when you are, mate.
All right, I'm sharing screen now.
Okay.
And hopefully that looks okay. Does that look okay to everyone?
No, that's good with us. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so after the show, I'll move this document into the main forum so you can have a proper read through of it later. I'm not going to go blow by blow tonight. So there's a little introduction with our glorious leader.
Wow.
And our first group build is hopefully self-explanatory, the Swinging 60s. So it's anything from the 1960s, and that's going to run from the 1st of January to the middle of the year. So it is civilian, it's military, it's space, it's science fiction, like Star Trek was first aired in the 60s, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
that is a really, really broad and very, very simple group build. If you're going to do a prototype, we're just asking that it's not some sort of concept. We're asking that it actually existed. So we're going to look for stuff that made their maiden flights in the 60s.
Yeah, and we were discussing it when we were thinking of these ones. The scope is huge. If you have a think about it, of all the things that happened in the 60s, all the pioneering things, you know, and everything else, literally from the space race, but just to civil vehicles as well, through to obviously with aircraft design and how that was being pushed, you know, yeah, absolutely loads of different scope for stuff in there.
Yeah, so at the end of the 60s, you had Concorde's maiden flight, but you had Apollo 11, you had Vietnam War, you had loads, there's literally tons and tons and stuff to go at with that one. So that is the first group build, followed for the second half of the year by Out of Africa. The more writing there is, the more problems this group build has caused.
Yes.
What we're looking for really with this one is a repeat of the Latin America group build. So we're not looking for models of things that happened in Africa. So the Africa Corps, the German Africa Corps, for instance, we're not looking for that. We're looking to do models of African countries and their equipment.
Yes.
So you can go on to Wikipedia and get the list of 54 African countries, but you can also do historical ones like Rhodesia, but make it African rather than foreigners in Africa, if that makes sense.
We were saying, so it's well, I'll let you go for it now, if you can perhaps describe the things we've disallowed.
I mean, we looked at this one in the Somali Civil War, for instance. We decided that sort of American Black Hawk helicopters wouldn't be included, but in the peacekeeping efforts of the United Nations, you had Zimbabwe, Egypt, and Morocco participate, so they'd be fine.
So what we were really saying was that you're not allowed to do occupying forces.
No.
So that's why we were saying that obviously those ones would be fine because they are, you know, African countries taking part in peacekeeping roles. That's absolutely fine if you want to do that. But you can't do, as we said before, like Black Hawk Down, even though it's an African, they're an occupying force coming in. So it's really to do like we did with the South American one, where you guys did an amazing job on different, you know, the colour schemes through the actual different camo patterns on aircraft and various things, and the civil side of it as well stands. So, you know, there's lots and lots of scope on everything that goes down in there. But we thought with the success that really was a shock, because some of the stuff you guys did was brilliant. We thought really we'd have a go with Africa and see if we can sort of get something like that again.
I mean, if you're looking at the independent African countries you've got now, half of them seem to align with the Soviet Union. So you've got lots of old Russian equipment. You've got lots of French and British and American equipment as well. I mean, these rules are there. And again, any questions, any clarification, then please drop me a line and I'll sort of explain. But we're looking for African subjects. That's the, you know, if I've put down here like an RAF aircraft that's based there wouldn't count, but a Rhodesian Air Force aircraft would. We're not going to get into colonial politics. But the SIGs, a nice and easy one, is the high seas SIG. So this is maritime. So anything that's connected to the sea or water. So we've included rivers and lakes in this just to sort of broaden it a bit. So you could do a Navy subject, you can do the Marines, you can do the sort of RAF Coastal Command. We just asked that the model has got an obvious connection to the sea. If you're doing a Coastal Command aircraft, have a maritime aircraft. So you don't have to do just boats. You can do anything connected to the sea. So Sea Harriers would be a perfect sort of build for this one, as well as, I don't know, HMS Victory, just maybe for an idea.
Yeah, if you're into your rigging.
Yeah, that's the first SIG running for the first sort of third of the year. The next one is something we've been wanting to do for a couple of years, is to bring Australia and New Zealand in it. So we're doing the ANZAC Special Interest Group, and that is for anything that's from New Zealand or Australia since 1914. And because ANZAC is sort of broader than that. We'd like people to do maybe RAF New Zealand squadrons from the war. So any sort of New Zealander that served in sort of British sort of units will be included as well. Just make sure that everything's obviously connected to a New Zealander or an Australian. So that's the middle SIG. It starts a little bit early just to coincide with Anzac Day.
Yeah, so we pulled that one forward just a little bit, just so, as you say, it all sort of flows in. So it's going to be a tiny little bit longer, but only
a little bit. But no, there's loads of really interesting World War II stuff from all theatres, really, in that one. And the last one is a very special one, close to John's heart, the Comrade Buller Special Interest Group Build. This is anything that's Russian from the sort of Soviet era. So we're taking the start point of this one as the October Revolution in 1917, all the way up to the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. But we're just asking for it to be Soviet. So your MiGs, your Sukhois, your T-34s, we've kind of split the line. No Lend-Lease or no imports, no post-Soviet republics. We're looking for, well, basically things with red stars on them, really, aren't we? They're designed and built and operated by the Soviets. It includes civilian stuff as well. So if you've got a little bit of Chernobyl-related stuff floating around, again, that would be included as well. And there's a little bit at the end of this document about the general group build rules and SIG rules. These apply to all of them. John, nicely.
There's John. I tell you what, you wouldn't know, would you? That's the worry. He fits in there so perfectly. You just, yeah.
Can I just interrupt
and
say,
he's a time traveller, isn't it?
I thought we were doing an interwar SIG.
Oh, that one's maybe another one's just got revealed for next year. I mean, we've been backwards and forwards, haven't we, with group builds. Interwar, I think's one that didn't make the list, did it?
No.
And if you're looking to save on printer ink, I've kind of put a brief summary on the last page there. So that's going to be available for people to have a proper look at on the forum imminently, really. Once this show's finished, we'll move it on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's time then to have a go away and have a look and see what you've got in your stash.
Indeed. You're right, guys. Have you worked it out?
Matt and Andy are still
feverishly working in the background, trying to make it all work still. I don't know what they broke either, everyone. I do apologise.
We don't.
So anyway, hopefully you guys will enjoy that one. Again, embrace it. Remember, it's not a law. You don't have to take part. If you don't see anything you don't fancy, you can just do the normal builds and everything as it goes through. Obviously, all the group builds, everybody who then finishes and all the rest of it does get a medal. We are looking for this year, not just doing the 1-2 miss a few and it's done type builds, which we've had happen over the last few years. You know me, I'm probably the most relaxed person for this ever, because I'll just send everybody a medal and away we go. But over the last few years, they seem to be getting a little bit more shorter and not going. The whole point for the group builds, really, as I said before, it makes a library of builds. Okay, the whole point of this is so that other members or other people in the future may be able to come along, have a look at a T-34 from Egypt, okay, and can find one, and they can see how you did it and what kit you used, what paints you used, and maybe use your build as a guide right the way through. And that's really the whole point to the group builds and the SIGs. The group builds, because they're a little bit more into work, there's a lot more going on with them than I obviously give away the medals and normally Sanders, and we've done various other stuff over the years, bits and pieces along with that one as well, as a thank you for you guys spending the time to put together these photo builds. And I'm not expecting them to be magazine quality and all the rest of it, just a nice progression right the way through the build. So it doesn't just start with a picture of the box and end with one and here's one I did. Okay, that doesn't qualify anymore. It will need to be a proper build all the way through. I'm not going to make a hard and fast rule exactly of what it is. It's just that as long as you've joined in with the spirit of what we're trying to get out of this, and that's what it is. Usual thing, SIGs don't, but you do get a nice video at the end.
Yeah, can I just, I think, from all of us, is just like to enter in the spirit of the group builds and SIGs.
Yes.
Because the last 18 months or so, there's been sort of a trend for people trying to push the limits. And
Yeah.
it's taking the gloss off some of them a little bit.
Yes.
So if everyone, can just read the rules,
Yeah.
and follow the guidelines, that'd be great.
Yeah. Again, you
'Cause
guys
there's
know
plenty- there's
what is
plenty there.
expected. Yeah.
There's plenty
I mean-
for everyone there.
There's probably loopholes in the Africa one's the one that's probably the trickiest one, but some SIGs have not made it to that list because we thought there's too many sort of gaps, and it's a bit of a shame where people look for a chink in the rules and just go for it, and it just ends up with something that's disconnected and weird. The Africa one was really hard to write because I was worried. At one point we're saying no colonial era African, but then we thought no, bring that bit of African history in. It is a part of the history of the continent, but we have decided it is. We want models that people would say, yeah, that's definitely an African subject. That's African. And I know a lot of the sort of air forces had like RAF roundels on them at the very early period. That's okay, but we don't want sort of loads of Africa Corps stuff. Although you can do South Africans from El Alamein because they were there. So there's plenty of scope to bring the North Africa campaign in, just not from those sort of occupying forces. Because the Latin group build was brilliant because we saw some really funky roundels and some very funky camo schemes, didn't we? And that's kind of what we want to see again, is people doing like an Algerian something or other, or a sort of Ethiopian something or other.
That was the reason why we did the African one, wasn't it? To take people out of the comfort zones and do something different. And people moaned like mad when we first put it up.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be a really good group
And
build.
the funny thing is with that one as well, the South African one, I think you had a lot of people moaning about what we're going to do, what you're going to build, and actually you see the quality and the diversity of what we had made it one of the best group builds from a point of view. You watch the reveal video, it's got some like the Tucano and the digital scheme. A couple of people did them, but they did them different ways and in different colours and things, and it just worked, and that was absolutely stunning. And we had obviously some of the vehicles going through and stuff like that. And although it was similar vehicles, people had done them in different versions and colours and stuff. And it was great diversity right the way through. And that was the nice thing about it.
Patrick says he's found the South African Air Force Shackleton decal sheet. Does it come? Do you have to do a diorama with it blowing a wall down?
That's it. I mean, there's a few people.
That was. You could do that as a diorama.
You could, couldn't you?
There's a few people commenting in there about Israeli stuff.
No, that's Middle East.
That's not African.
No.
It's not African.
Cheers, Keith.
Yeah. That would be, I know the Sinai Peninsula, but that would be a.
You could do Egypt.
You do Egypt, that's fine.
Not do Israel.
If you were going to do like the Zulu Wars, you could do the Zulus, but we wouldn't want people doing the British.
Yeah, you can't do the British.
So, yeah.
We are going to be strict, aren't we? Let's be honest. Yeah. Let's not cut corners here. We are going to be strict, and if it's not within the spirit, or you ain't doing it, and that's it.
So that's why, again, if you're going to do like the Libyan campaign, we wouldn't want people doing French Rafales bombing Libya, but you could do the Libyan forces. And anyway.
I say the rules are up there. Read them, and then you'll get the gist
Well,
of it.
Sean's saying about Angolan MiG-23 is okay because they're piloted by Cubans. If the aircraft is an Angolan aircraft and Angolan markings, it's an Angolan. Doesn't matter who's flying it. It is. That's a classic example. Is that fits because it is. Doesn't matter who's flying it at the end of the day. So you'd be okay. But as I say, we're just going to be a little bit more strict on them these days because as I say, people used to bend the rules and push it and push it and push it to the point where it just got really annoying. It felt like it was becoming a sport. But the amount of hours these guys were putting in trying to sort it out wasn't fair.
I mean, you've got some really interesting civil aircraft markings as well, because you've got an awful lot of really quite cool looking Tanzanian civil aircraft and South African airlines, loads and loads of stuff. There's literally tons and tons of stuff you can do. There's no need to sort of push the boundaries. I mean, I found a really cool decal sheet for Rhodesian hunters. It's like the RAF roundels with the spears on it. Looks brilliant. I thought that would be a really good choice.
As I say, hopefully there's a little bit of something for everything. As I say, don't focus on that one. I think the 60s one would be good.
Yeah, mean, you can do
I think
Israeli stuff for the 60s. You could do like some of the Israeli wars were in the 1960s.
We were thinking about it. The 60s one's massive when you think about it. There's just cool subjects from cars to planes to tanks to U-boats,
Space.
space.
Yeah.
That literally covers everything.
Yeah.
You cannot get something out of that one, you know. So yeah.
Quick question from Sprugu says, question for Nathan. I was thinking about buying a Revell 132nd Tornado.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it moved. What are your thoughts? Because obviously we haven't done a question like this for...
Few months. And hang on.
Is this it now? Everyone's going to go with Tallery? Is that what we reckon?
I think that's down to budget. I mean, the Italeri one's going to be 100 and a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
40, about
And you
130.
can get a Revell one's half the price.
Well, more than you can get for 30 odd quid, can't you?
You can get the Revell ones on the used market for down to £20-30, but it is significantly inferior, I think, now. But it's still a nice kit. It's buildable. You can put some aftermarket resin in the Revell one. You'll still get a nice Tornado out of it.
Can I just ask a quick question? Dave Chandler says, Team, do you know any of the Gemini Mercury missions model kits? If you go into our store, David, I know you're in America, but if you have a look for
Horizon models.
Horizon models, we've got some in there. Give you an idea.
Yeah.
What's a Normandy Newman?
Just for nobody who's ever heard of them, especially if our Australian friends, because that is an Australian company, so you should be able to get them readily available from down there. They're a small company from what I've gathered, but they're just some. I was really impressed. I was saying it on Wednesday when I was talking to Phil. I actually thought there was a rebox of some old kits, and they're not. They come with a little bit of photo etch, and they're really nicely done. Phil's going to get some to review and show you, because I think it's going to be one of them where it's a bit armor hobby, shall we say, and obviously what you've reviewed today with the two little tanks. You'll be surprised because you're thinking, oh, listen, yeah.
I'll get them. Spoiler alert, they were supposed to go up today, but to be honest, I've run out of time. They are done and edited. I'll probably put them up for Monday to keep you all busy Monday, but there you go. Spoiler alert, these things are absolutely phenomenal. Beautiful. Best bid. Never heard of them. Best bid kit number 1 and 2 as well. So it's always nice to get new ones. But actually, again, it's like, where did they come from? They're absolutely fantastic. You always think of 72nd stuff as being, I don't know, 1970s Airfix, and clearly not.
Back in a second. I need a beer.
Are you doing your bloody backdrop of me again? Have you seen this? Look, his chair's moved. He needs to move his chair.
His chair's spoiling it.
Did he take this photo of me the other night then when we were all on?
He's
stuffing me face eating cake.
There we go.
And people wonder what we do in the evenings. Where are we? Will there be an Easter egg build next year? Yeah, but obviously this year it all went out the window because of COVID. We just rolled the Easter egg build right the way through, and we turned it into the COVID, and we were with you for 10 weeks,
3
whatever it
months.
was.
12 weeks.
12 weeks we did. 12 weeks of live shows every day. Mad.
Was it 12?
And we're going to do it again. So, Christ knows.
And we've got the turkey shoot as well to do.
I know. I was just about to answer that because somebody said there we got a turkey shoot. Rusty Warrior says, is there a turkey shoot this year? Yes. So in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we'll be back with you again for another full weekend. But to be honest with you, we have a plan. Me and Matt, after the first part of next week, because obviously we're hoping we'll have lots of orders we might have to take care of on Monday, Tuesday.
Yes.
But after that, we intend to do live shows in the afternoon again during the COVID lockdown.
Yeah, just for a couple of hours.
Just for a couple of hours a day, keep you all entertained and various bits going on, what we're doing and stuff like that.
Here he is, look.
Right, now get rid of that. He's stuffing me face with cake. Christmas cake, that is. Very nice it was too.
You do know now, Randy, every time you switch your computer on, that's going to come up as your background, like the Halloween one did.
It's scary, isn't it? I know.
When will the Great Wall Hobbies 148's F-15Es be in?
Well, there's been a bit of delay, I did say, because the container's been delayed. We're hoping for before the end of the year. At the latest, it'll be Jan.
Yeah.
It depends when Gary, who's bringing them in at Tiger Hobbies, gets his slot, because everything's been delayed. He did, when I spoke to him last, he did say it's not as bad as he thought. But that's obviously, he's got a Zukimori one coming in with the F4Es, which should be here very soon. And there's a knock-on effect Ryefield as well with the new Chalice. Great Wall Hobbies, which was supposed to be in for, I think, the end of this month, beginning of next, might have a knock-on effect. And it might be January now, unfortunately, for that. It's still coming. We're still going to get it, but it's obviously when it does turn up again. COVID, blame the COVID pandemic, I'm afraid. It's just messed everything up, really, for obviously shipment containers and staff working at ports and you name it. It's just a knock-on effect from everything, really. So, yes.
Unfortunately, it's just one of those things which is well and truly out of our hands.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, our order's in and the stocks, we'll get it as soon as it arrives with Gary at Tiger Hobbies. So, yeah.
Was that the F4 you were talking about? The F15?
No,
15Es.
it's F15E.
The Great Wall stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, the F4 should actually be here pretty soon. That's only had a week delay from what was initially told from. So fingers crossed, nothing else happened. So yes.
Right. We've got a question in the chat, Phil, for you.
Yeah.
It says, how can I react? This is from Dean. It says, how can I reactivate the Flory wash that has been sitting for over a year? Can I use the Badger paint stirrer, or would that not be recommended?
Yes, stick it in, you'll be fine. Literally, usual thing, like I say, is that if you can, tip it into a jug, get a larger soft brush. So, something probably bigger than like a number 6 or something, like a 1-inch brush, and sort of mash it and just get it to go again and reactivate it, and then let the bubbles all die off because it'll probably bubble up. Then tip it back in your bottle and you should be good to go. But because it's just clay, what happens is the sediment can get very, very thick at the bottom. I don't think any of mine are at the moment. But it can, because obviously the clay comes out of suspension and just forms a layer. But literally, it's clay and water. There's not a lot to it. So it's just gone back to how it was before it got put into a giant tank and mixed up. So
I'll say if you shake it hard enough, it will
break up. You can put, if you've got a marine grade, an M5 bolt, stick that in it. Or a nut, I should say. Stick that in there and give it a shake. It'll be absolutely fine.
Got to treat it like paint, ain't you, in a way, because obviously the heavy pigment sinks to the bottom, and obviously the binder just rests at the top. So,
Brian says,
on the Kitty Hawk 35th scale Seahawks coming to the UK.
Oh,
So go there. That's
yeah.
No
just
idea.
come to the conclusion they seem to be selling direct these days. So it's
yeah,
like
they're bypassing us.
They don't want to deal with dealers anymore, by the sound of it. So
yeah.
All right. Second question from Dean was: he bought a couple of years ago. He purchased the large sanding pack. It was over a couple of years ago. Which of the new sanders would you recommend? He said he doesn't need any of the skinny packs.
Yeah, well, it depends what you're doing with them, isn't it? Really, at the end of the day, if you're bring this up so you can see, as I say, we've got the new ones now, but if you've got the skinnies, you probably won't need them because it's the same thing. But the dual ones is the only, because these are obviously hard on one side, but they're soft. Hard on one side, soft on the other. So it's basically like a hard normal sanding stick on one side, and then the other side's a sponge. So
sounds like our toilet paper.
So yeah, me pants. So basically what it is, it's an amalgamation between these. What I literally did was we took a sanding stick and then we basically glued a sponge onto the underside of it. That's literally what it is. So it's hard on one side, but it's soft on the other. And obviously we do different versions of those. And obviously you've got the polishers and various bits and pieces that go in with it. But it depends really what type of sanding you're doing. On the Sunday morning, I'll be doing a demo and showing polishing with them and going through grades and showing those as well. We have a plan for that.
Just quickly, Chris Roscoe says, Chris Brown, says, what's the best 48th intruder to get? Definitely the Hobby Boss A. I say A because it's got the best scheme, and the E and the Tram are horrible, boring grey schemes.
Well,
Each their own, eh?
If you want to do that. But yeah, I agree, because the trouble you've got with the does it kinetic?
Yeah.
It's got a split windscreen, which I'm not a fan of, and it's got some little finicky things going on with it.
Let me just see which ones are in stock, then I can.
I always forget Kinetic do an intruder.
Yeah, it's
Well, and also if you get an early one, it's only got a fence on one wing. You've got a wing fence on one wing, like this type of thing, but they didn't put it on the other.
Yeah.
Well, I must admit, the tram is a very good kit, though.
Yeah. To be honest, I've obviously done the Big Brother to the Hobby Boss one. I did the Trumpeter 32nd, and that's still one of my favourite kits of all time.
Because say if you're doing US Navy, you got to do IVs. You can't do all the low vis
that's why I do
stuff.
mine all the IVs. Any chance you could put grits on the sounding sticks? I tell you, it's a question that keeps coming up, and every time we come round to doing a cycle, I think about doing it. But the cost to do it, it's quite a bit. It's not like you think, because obviously all of our sounders are dual-sided, so you'd have to put the grits on both sides, and that doubles up the cost of the printing and all the rest of it, and you just get into that thing of putting it on for the sake of it.
Isn't the grit different in the UK or Europe as it is to America?
Absolutely, yeah.
So it just caused confusion if you put grit numbers on, wouldn't it?
Our 200 grit is the same as 400 grit in Japan. Don't forget, though, the other thing as well, you can see it, I'll show it properly, but this has got a green core, which means it's the fine grit. If it's got a blue core in the middle of it, it's the medium grit. If it's got a white core, it's the coarse grit. That's how we do it. So they are cored. They've all got different colours in the middles of them. So that's how we do our grits. Instead of printing them on there, we've got green and blue. Well, you can see them on there. I don't know what I'm waving at the camera. Yeah, on these ones, you can see if you've got the blue, you've got the white, and this one down here is the green. So they've all got different core colours. I think this one actually shows a photo of it in here somewhere. Sure, we did it. So yeah, they've got the different ones down in there, so you can see the different core colours as well.
Don't in America they do it parts per inch, and we do it parts per.
Again, it's all a little bit grey on these, how you do it, because even on my side, it's a bit, some of them do it one way, some do other. It depends if they call it domestic grit or like foreign grit, and yeah.
Not very standardised, is it?
No, there is no real standardised, because it's funny, because I say, I've got like Tamiya's 400 grit paper, the sponge, and it's exactly the same as my 200 grit. Like, there you go. You'd think they would be universal, but no, weirdly. Richard says, well, the A6E tram also comes with a nice desert scheme as well. They do. And I've got a fantastic picture of one that's absolutely beaten to death in the desert scheme.
Is that the one you tried to do, Andy?
Which one, sorry?
The desert scheme one.
No, I didn't try and do it. I just bought all the paints and everything else for it, and then decided to do the grey one.
Did I tell the truth?
It was when I realised that the decals on it half and half colours as well, to match the opposite the browns, if you know what I mean. So if it's got like a demarcation line going between the two colours halfway through the decals, they're also then opposite way around on the decals. So you've got to get it exactly right to get the decals on.
Nigel's modelling bench, you're wrong, because what they actually do is, it depends where you are in the world. Some of them do it microns per, like, you know, square centimetre. That's how they do the grit size. But it depends also on what grits you're doing. If it's like what they call aluminium oxide type grits, or you're using traditional grit like you see in sandpapers, like 80 grit, 36 grit, that's completely different to when you're dealing with like 240,000 grit, aluminium oxide stuff and stuff like that. They use it in different ways because they do microns per whatever it is in their world, if you know what I mean. Because that's the trouble you get. You get like domestic type grits for like household, like you're doing just sat at your house with 36 grit sandpaper. 80 grit sandpaper is different from like the very fine stuff. When you're into the microns and things like that, they change it over. It gets really technical because our papers come from 3 places in the world. They come from the US, obviously out of China, and funny enough, out of the UK. But we got 3 different ones from 3 different areas, and they're all different. So it is a little bit of a minefield with it all. That's why I let them sort it out. We have a firework display going off. Either that or someone's let them off in the back garden. And can you explain the turkey shoot? That's dead simple. All we literally do is sit here and build a model for once. So turkey shoot basically starts on the Friday night and we run to the Sunday and we try and build something. So last year I built a Trojan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What did you guys build?
I built an A4, didn't I?
I think you did. Yes, you did. The Skyhawk, wasn't it? I did this little guy, the old Hella, prehistoric Hella. Little raised panel lines, so we did all the work on it and everything. So yes, bless his little art.
Hey, that was for lockdown.
Yeah, but that was... Oh yeah, sorry, was that the lockdown one? What did we do with the turkey shoot then? I thought that was turkey shoot, wasn't it?
No, that was the lockdown earlier in the year.
Oh right, I have no idea then. Trust me, it all
Do you know what? I
blurs
can't
into
remember what I
one.
did last year. I know what I did for lockdown, but I can't remember for what we did for the turkey shoot last year. Oh, there's only Nathan who know.
It's in chat. Dennis says that UK's metric, Europe's metric, America's imperial, in UK is...
That make its mind up.
Yeah, we
decide what we want to take, and we'll take bits out of some of it, and then other bits out of others, and then
we're a hybrid.
Mine's easy. I literally go along to the manufacturer, and it's a bit like wine tasting. I go along, but instead of drinking it, I'm going along going. And then I pull out a bit of a model kit and start sanding it, and it's like, that's no good, that's no good, that's no good. And then normally I end up with about sort of like 10 samples of what's close, bring them back, and then I play with them for literally about a month or two and find out what is the best grit for what we do in the hobby. And it's funny because I won't go into mass details, I'm not going to give away the trade secrets, but one of them is used in really heavy industry and it works very, very well for it. And it was like, you would never think it was. They were like, oh, and we've got this, and it actually is one of our best ones. And it was like, that's fantastic, but it's used in heavy industry. And you wouldn't think it'd be a domestic product. Other ones are, you know, domestic-y type things, no problem at all. But yeah, it's strange how with plastic, styrene has a weird, obviously you can melt it. If you sand it and it gets hot, it melts. That's the problem. So if you have too high a grit, it will physically melt it instead of sanding it nicely. And it causes other grits rip the hell out of it. So it's finding the balance.
And now Nathan's going to give us a live demo.
Yes, on a Pembroke.
Get your overhead on, Nath. Show us.
I've done nothing but sand this chuffing thing for the past month.
Yeah, but you can't say I didn't warn you, can you?
No, and I've only got more sanding to do because I drilled a really great big hole in the top of it for the Astro Dome thing that they put on. No live demos of Pembrokes. No. It's too late.
Yeah. You'll have a 4-hour video build of sanding.
Yeah. I'm glad I've done it though. It's one. I think it's like that the 24th scale Spitfire from Airfix. It'll be an absolute bugger of a build, but you'll be glad once you get it to that paint stage. You'll be so glad you've done it.
Yeah. Once the prep's out of the way, you're there, aren't you? So. But I'm finishing. I need to get to bed if we're on at 9 o'clock again in the morning. I've got to be up early.
We'll go to our past then.
What, half past what? 9, 10,
9.
11? Is a clue.
No, Graham, I never finished my javelin.
Shelf of Doom. Shelf of Doom.
Self a doom, and
Neil says, Phil, didn't you make the monochrome biplane and the sub?
that's what you did because you were ill, weren't
Yeah,
you?
your little boy
Is that
plane,
what
wasn't
it
it?
was?
Oh, God, you was proper ill, yes.
Oh, yeah. God, how can I forget? I threw up live.
Oh God, yeah.
Doubled up in pain, up in my guts, up in a bowl next to the camera. How could I forget that? Yeah, good point. Things you do for keeping you guys entertained. I was on my hands and knees, muted, going,
Oh,
the show must go on.
I could see you deteriorating over the course of the Sunday, wasn't it? You were just getting worse and worse.
I'm half tempted to build a sub. I might build a sub for that high seas one. I'm tempted. Been watching the Das Boot.
Jane Robinson's got a really good question in chat.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
It says, Nathan, did you ever finish your javelin?
It's under here.
I can't see better than that, but
Oh, I've lost it. Oh no.
Oh no! Funnily enough, he's binned it.
Vortex didn't kill the javelin.
You know, when you're on about subs, I do actually. I wouldn't build it, but I do like the looks of that Dad's Works World War One sub for something different, because you always obviously get the proper U-boats from World War Two, but a proper World War One U-boat would be something different, something good in it. So yeah,
I'm not building the Das Works, no. I'd like the Revell ones. That are they 1/350th?
Yeah.
I don't know. I quite like. What's the Astute class? Isn't it? The Royal Navy have got the Astute class, haven't they?
Yeah.
And hasn't got that weird rubbery coating on it.
I think they all sort of have that now, that thick rubber coating, isn't it? It's like
I think
tiles on them.
I reckon with oil paints, that'll be somewhat quite. It'll be a challenge to make it look.
Brian Cuthbert says, I want that World War One sub.
Yeah, I think you might have to put pre-orders in for this World War.
Yeah, when we find out when it's coming out, we'll put pre-order up. We've got a price for it, because still not got a price for the Harrier.
So 72 scale, it's 80 centimetres long. You can tell I'm a teacher, can't you?
He's got his yard stick out, look.
Do you know that's a beast in 72?
Just under 3 foot for the
That is big. Yeah, I mean,
there with his meter ruler.
fucking kids when they're naughty.
Stuart said, it's a shame we couldn't meet up with you guys at Telford this year, but I'm sure we can catch up again next year. So they safe, guys. Absolutely.
Just quickly, Phil,
Eh?
before it goes, Nigel says, I'm stuck for the 60s group build. I use any build World War II aircraft. Can't think what to do. Could still do a.
We can still do Spitfires because we're still in service.
Yeah.
Or go out your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Try something new. You might enjoy it. You know, there'll be something that interests you from the 60s.
I mean, if you want to do like your World War II aircraft, all the Mustangs got sort of basically given away, didn't they, to
South American countries.
So you could do something like that, but it'd be nice to do some, I don't know, one of your, like your...
I mean, Spain and whatever used.
But it's a nice...
stuff, didn't they? And,
yeah.
You know, Finland and whatever you got. Stuff still in service, so...
I mean, if you
sure
do
the French used their bombers.
Yeah, Malcolm said P-51s. P-51, yeah.
Bird dog, that's kind of similar build techniques. You could do like your Hustlers, your B... What's it, is it B-58?
58.
You've got loads of stuff from the US Air Force. Cause
I think some of the South American countries still use P-51s, didn't they? In the 60s.
But you've got so much. If you just look at maybe US Air Force and Navy, there was just an explosion of different aircraft in that era. And you got the Vietnam War as well.
Yeah, a couple of guys had Sky Raiders.
Yeah.
They're very, very late. World War II, weren't they? But
Were vampires still used then?
I reckon. Ooh, I don't know. You'd have to, maybe the night fighter ones might be.
Was the Swiss still using them at that point?
Yeah, Swiss
would have had them. Yeah.
I say that's a 40s aeroplane, isn't it?
But you've got one of the first Arab-Israeli wars were in the 60s, because I know people are asking about doing an Israeli F-16, but that would be for a future SIG, maybe.
I'll tell you what he could use. He could build a T-34.
Yeah.
Alex, yes, we'll definitely get the Rebel E-Type Jag in.
Yes. Yeah.
Couple just here. Daniel says, nice to see the Rodin B36 kit review. How does it compare to the Hobbycraft kit? I imagine a lot better, because I haven't seen the Hobbycraft kit, to be honest. But to be honest with you, the B36 was beautiful. So I don't think it showed up particularly well on camera, but the panel lining is absolutely exquisite. Very sharp, very fine. So yes, and because it's going to be in metals, you would have thought with most cases, it should look really, really nice. It's a nice kit in scale. It's just a shame about the clear parts. So
yeah,
that'd be nice to see.
Can you guess why I asked? He's going to do a E-Type Jag for the 60s, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be perfect. Cars, I mean, some of the 60s cars were just epic, weren't they?
We do a Union Jack on it. That wasn't 60s, wasn't it? That was what's his name, wasn't it? Who had it?
That was Austin Powers, wasn't
Austin
it?
Powers, yeah.
From the 90s.
Even though he was dressed like the 60s, yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit of a 60s throwback, wasn't it?
When was Easy Rider released?
69, 68, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes, you could do a chopper.
You could do a chopper.
Just like
Someone does that, don't they?
What, a rally chopper?
No.
bullet.
Nathan, you're next to admit him.
Yeah, this ruler comes through. Just a quick one here because it's a shameless plug. Gordon says, is there a good starter set for Flory Sanders? Yes, this one in the middle. It's not on sale today. Oh, look, we've sold out of them. Crikey. Anyway, but this one here, the starter set, it's only a tenner, and it's basically got 2 of all the skinny set we do, and it's obviously got all the Sanders, one of each of the Sanders and all the others. So it's only a tenner, so it actually works out a bargain. We can't discount it anymore because it's basically almost there anyway. So, but unfortunately, yes, that's the one to go for, the starter one. Because the great thing is, like I always say, get the starter pack because it's got a bit of everything in there. You can have a go with it and find out which one works. You've got the card on there, so it's got the descriptions of them and tells you the grits and all the rest of it, or approximate grits, I should say. And then you can go off and buy that sander as its standalone pack. Because that way it saves you a bit of money. Are you going to be building the bison, Matt?
And the next question is?
have you still got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not selling it.
Not selling it. It's now part of officially the fixtures and fittings at the unit.
Where is it?
That was in the 60s, wasn't it?
Is it over on the back wall still?
Yeah. I think you ought to move it into your office.
What, tomorrow?
Yeah, when you do it
Well,
all up.
I'll
Yeah,
put
when
it
we
as a
get the actual
backdrop.
your new office all, you know, the electric sorted and everything, it should be on a shelf with you because it's part of our history of PM models. Because not only is it like a nightmare and an ongoing running joke now for the last 3 years, but also it's one of the first kits we bought for the company.
It was because John got his mainstay, was
You
it
got
as
the
well?
mainstay, and we had the bison come in at the same time.
Bloody brainstorm at yours, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is it down by the fire exit?
Hey?
Is it down the side by the fire exit?
No, it's on the plastic racking where the A model kits. No, where Tulare is.
Yeah.
It's there at the bottom, but there's all stuff in front of it because there's so much stuff in the shop now. It's just buried under there. But yes, I think it will have pride of place on the shelf behind me.
Yes.
Well, the box is about fold to bits. So I might have to repair the box a bit because they're not great. But yeah, where is your mainstay anyway, John?
It's up there.
Are you going to do that for the Comrade Bullersig? Are you going to build that for the Comrade Bullersig?
Yeah, there you go, John. There's a thing for you. You've
Informal.
got the room for it now. Can't say you haven't got the room anymore. And you can hang it on the wall behind you like I do with mine.
Matt says he's going. Alan Stillwell said Matt's going to build the bison and the Argosy.
Yeah.
I think the mainstay might be post 91 though, mightn't it?
Oh, good dodge, but I'm pretty sure the Argosy was 60s.
Yeah, no, we're going to go on the actual original frame date when it was an IL-76 before. Phil, what colour would you use for the grime wash? Well, you could use it on any vehicles. I'm probably going to use it, to be honest, on the MRAP will be a prime example for it. It's like a road dirty colour. It's more of an earthy colour. Like the dark dirt is quite dark by its nature, but the grime is like a lightened version of the actual dark dirt colour. So it's great for using on vehicles and just weathering in general. So I use it on grounds, for walls, in grime on brickwork, but it's good for undercolours on vehicles, especially armoured vehicles, stuff like that.
Alex Laws says, can get Andy to 3D print a bust of Comrade Buller himself for the SIG. In fact, I've got a Yoda bust.
What? But John's just adapted it for John with ears.
Yeah.
It would just look like Yoda Buller.
What was that one Nathan put up? Nathan put something up. It was brilliant. Oh dear.
I'm not sharing screen again.
There's going to be a lot of mileage in this, John. You do know that.
They stitched me up with that.
I can't wait to
We
see
have
what.
not stitched you up. We've made you famous.
The
That
funniest
happened,
one
so
he
just-
did is the one where you photoshopped, wasn't it, Andy's face onto everybody at
Yes.
Christmas one year?
Oh,
Because
that was
Andy
scary.
wasn't in the
That was.
photo, so we
that was
photoshopped
scary,
him in.
wasn't it?
That was scary.
That was freaky.
Even Lydia.
Yeah,
Even
it was
Lydia.
like 2.
The worst thing is, I wasn't even in that shot at all. They photoshopped me originally in the shot because I wasn't there.
I don't know if I've still got that picture, you know. I must have it saved somewhere.
You must have it. You must dig it out if you've got it, because that was funny.
That's it. So a Yoda Buller may be available.
Do you
I
know the
can't
good
wait to see
kit?
what Ron does with the banner. The banner's going to be a good one for that one, isn't it?
Do you know of a good kit for Lockheed P80 Shooting Star?
Oh,
Hobbybots do one, don't they?
In what scale?
ooh, someone did a decent one.
Hobbybots do a 48th one, don't they? I'm sure I've done one of them in 48th with Hobbybots.
Yeah, they do. And Thingy do, don't they? Great Wall Hobbies. Is that a...
Yeah, they do, don't they?
And then in 72nd, I know Sword do one. And I think...
That's
did
the one I was.
Hobbybots do a 72nd one?
I'm just looking. Dirk said that Sword did it.
Yeah, Dave said he wants 48.
I know Sword do it.
Tan
Say
model?
tan models.
Can you still get their stuff?
So are they still going?
I don't know. They seem to have disappeared, haven't they?
I'll
Yeah.
say enter from them.
I know on the Hobbyboss one, the intakes are supposed to be slightly too small, but
No.
yeah,
Are you going to notice?
no, I didn't.
One of those things. If you get caught up on it,
Yeah.
you can't.
A
It's so easy.
flooring model dropped on mine. A medal dropped on mine and broke it.
Oh, that's it. Blame me. Right, well, look, just before we go, we just have to take you around because you're all obliged to actually watch this. Don't forget, we have the sale ongoing at the moment. Hold on, I can go full screen here with the press of the button. Okay, so we've got the ongoing sale, various discounted prices. Please feel free to have a look, obviously, on the Flora Model store. So if you want to grab yourself a bit of a bargain and all the rest of it, they are down in there. But again, once it's gone, people, they are gone. So it's a little bit just like Telford, because every year we sell out of dark dirt. We sold out 250 bottles of dark dirt by, what was it, Sunday morning last year?
Saturday afternoon, wasn't it?
Saturday afternoon, I think. Yeah, something like that. So, but anyway, so that is all there now. But again, the prices are only like this until stocks last. And then obviously over on the PM store, as you can see down in here as well. So obviously you've got the special offers areas, which are extra discounts. So these are separate to the other standard 10% deals, 12% deals, 15% deals. So these are special prices just for you guys for this weekend only. But again, when they're gone, they're gone.
They're up to 20% off on those.
There we go. Up to 20% off for this lot. And then, as I say, the other ones are just in the normal store. And your discount will now be added with no problems at all once you check out.
We've amended that little problem.
We've amended that little problem now, so they're down in here. So literally, you just come into here, you go into Hobby Boss, you've got all the ones down in here.
Yeah.
Okay, you just click and then buy, and when you're on the way out, your discounts will be added. So it doesn't matter if you've got something at 10% and then something else at 12%. It will sort it all out for you at the checkout at the end.
Yeah.
So yes, very good. It all works. The system works after some light tweaking, a bit like the beginning of this show. So I must apologise for that. I'm not going to try and be clever anymore and have it all set. Because obviously when we came to it, nothing happened. So, but anyway, we will be back with you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Nice, bright, and so I better set an alarm. Crikey. Quick, get the dog out, back here, be fine, and go through. So I'm going to do some demos with you tomorrow, as we said tomorrow. So tomorrow's one really in the morning is going to be me demoing washes, things like that with you. Andy's going to be demoing silver paints and talking you through the different types of silver paints out there. And then in the afternoon, Andy's going to be demoing chipping, probably on what he's just done silver. And then I'll do something with buffables with you as well, showing you how buffable paints work and everything else like that. And then Matt will finish up in the afternoon on Saturday with the burnishing. Okay, so he's going to be showing you about burnishing fluids, everything else. You're more than welcome to join in with the chats as always. We're going to have all the live streams running, so you can join in either via YouTube, which is lovely to have you all in there, or anything else. And then obviously in the evening from 7:30, we'll be back with you for a pub quiz. Or not
pub quiz.
A man cave quiz.
More like how quick can you find things on Wikipedia quiz?
Yes, well, that'll be the thing, isn't it? But anyway, it's only going to be a little bit of fun and all the rest of it. So it'd be lovely to have you in, because no doubt it will probably turn into a complete riot as every time we do anything like this, it does. So it'd be lovely to have you on as well. But anyway, it's been lovely for our first little show as we're making our way through. So yes, good to go. So if we're all done, chaps, anything else we want to cover?
No, we can
No,
carry on tomorrow.
We're all good. So we're all sorted. Yeah. Right. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Pleasure as always. And we will see you bright and early, 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Or if we can't, we'll see you some point over the weekend. And don't forget, you can watch these all as a replay and everything else like that. So till later, everybody. Happy modelling. Take care. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.